The page object model is perhaps the most popular design pattern in software automated testing. In this video, we're going to discuss how to use it, what advantages it offers, and how to implement it in a real project. Hi, my name is Marco Cruz, and welcome to automateNow. Let's dive in. So what is a page object? Here we see a definition from the official Selenium website. It talks about using a class as an interface to any given page on the application that we're testing. To give you an illustration of this, let us take a look at the various systems on a vehicle. And some of those systems include steering, electronics, transmission, exhaust, etc. In this example, the idea behind the page object model is that we would develop a model of the vehicle by grouping its different systems into separate classes. Those classes will then contain methods that would allow us to interact with a given system in a vehicle. For instance, we could have a class called steering system. The class could contain methods such as turn left, or turn right, or lock steering column, and so on. Let us take a look at a more concrete example in which we have a website with 4 different pages called Login, New Account, Search Results, and About. We would apply the page object model by creating a class for each one of these pages. Each class will then contain methods that apply only to that class. We would then write any number of tests using the methods in each of the classes. By using the page object model, we improve test maintenance and reduce code duplication. For instance, in the case of less code duplication, the search results page will contain methods for the actions we can perform on that page. A given method within that page object can then be used multiple times by different tests. By the same token, if a developer makes a UI change to the search results page that causes all your tests to fail, you will not be required to go in and fix each individual test. Instead, you will go into the page object to make the change and get your test passing again. And this is how we can improve test maintainability. The last example that we're going to take a look at is the page you're looking at now, trivago.com. If we look at the top of the screen here, we see different navigation items. The first one is the login. If we click on login, it takes us to a login screen. This screen could be turned into a page object in itself. Let us go back. And here we see this section where we can enter our booking information. Let's say that we want to travel to Sydney, Australia. We click search and it gives us search results. This search results screen could also be turned into a page object. An important thing to note, however, is that not every screen or page needs to be a page object in itself. For example, this section here could be a page object also, since it seems to follow us around as we navigate through the site. If we scroll to the bottom of the page here, we're going to find some links. Let us click on Help, and we are taken to a Help Center page. And you guessed it, this could also be a page object. Next, you will see the page object model in action used in a live project. I went ahead and created a sample Maven project. Upon creation of a Maven project, you're going to see these 3 folders. If we open this source folder, we're going to see 2 subfolders called main and test. We're going to use the main folder to place all our page objects, and we're going to use the test folder to place all our tests. I've already gone ahead and created some page objects in this main folder, as you can see here. And we have 4 page object classes. I also created a sample test that we can find in this test folder. Let's have a look at what this test does. We can distinguish our test by looking at this test keyword. And the test says that we're going to try to log into an application using invalid credentials. Here we also see 2 other methods, namely before class and after class. The before class method is simply getting ready to set up our driver, and it also takes us to the Twitter login page. The after class method shuts down the driver. Now let's take a look at what our test is doing. First, we see that we're creating an instance of one of our page objects, namely login page. We then use that object to call the login method, and we give it the username and password. Since we know we're expecting an error message, we also retrieve the error message here by calling the getErrorMessage method. Lastly, we make an assertion by making sure that the error message matches this text. Pretty simple, right? Now let's take a look at what this login page does. To do that, we're going to go back to this main folder and double click on this login page. And the first thing that we see here is this constructor that, in addition to setting up the driver, It is also making sure that we have landed on the correct page. Then we see two methods, login and getErrorMessage. These are the two methods that our test is using. And we see that the login method is expecting a username and password. It then uses that username to enter it in the username input field. It does the same thing for the password. And lastly, it clicks on the login button. The getErrorMessage method is simply returning any error messages listed on the screen. Next, we're going to run our tests, but before we do that, let's take a look at the Twitter page. And here we see the two input fields and the login button. Let us now enter some invalid data and click on the login button. And we see that we get an error message here. This is the error message that we're going to be validating. We're back to our login test class here. I'm going to place a breakpoint here so that we can actually see what happens when we run the test. Now I'm going to run it in debug mode. Now we have arrived at the breakpoint. Let's take a look at what happened in the UI. Here we see the error message, as expected. So let us go back to our test and finish executing it. And we see that the test passes. Now let's discuss some of the important things to note here. Notice that our test is pretty straightforward. It doesn't provide any implementation details on how to log into the page. That is the job of the page object. In our test, we simply care about what we need to do, which is log into the page. That's why we don't see any references to locators in our test. All locators will be found in the page object. If we go and take a look at the page object here, we're going to find the locators in the method here and here. Also, if we go back to our test, notice that we're doing the assertions in our test, not in the page object. All assertions and verifications need to be made within your test and not here. If we go back to this login page object, you're going to see that we're validating that we have landed on the page. This should be the only exception for doing validation within your page object. So just to recap here, remember that we have two folders, main and test. The main folder will contain all our page objects. The test folder will contain all our tests. Furthermore, our test will contain any validations, but it will not contain any locators. All locators will be found in our page object. Within the page object, we write methods that correspond to functionality found within that page. The last thing that I would like to mention is that if this test were to fail, we do not need to update this test. We have to go into the login page and update anything that has changed. By fixing this, it will also fix our tests. I hope that you have found this information useful in learning about page objects.